Yeah.
After all, but it was not even legislated by our own legislators.
Where does this come from?
These are globalists, imperialists, telling us how to run our country.
Excuse your French. Now let's really...
I don't think it's logical to march to status. Do you know what marching to status means? It means that Ruto ceases to be the president of the republic and that we go Sri Lanka way. You remember what happened in Colombo?
And I think one of the things that really President William Ruto need now to take into consideration is actually being seen as a puppet of the Western world.
Okay.
That's a conversation happening out there, you know. So whether he likes it or not, you know, he's seen as a puppet. He's kissing too. I mean,
excuse your French. Now let's really...
President Ruto has bowed down to the pressure of people of Kenya.
Listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
The people of Kenya have spoken, and I have to give up, says President William Ruto, the president of Kenya. As you all know that this protest has been taking place in Kenya for some time now, and it is all thanks to the youth of Kenya who had to stand against this bill that was passed in the parliament, which President William Ruto was going to sign from the moment when this parliament had voted for this bill to be passed. Well, people of Kenya, they have to come together and put their power together in order for them to say no to this bill. What was this bill all about? Of course, this bill, it was for the government of William Ruto to increase more taxes that will be including from bread and oil and petrol. These are the daily basic things that people of Kenya usually survive on. For an example, when President William Ruto had to go with his parliament to increase the tax on bread, which we all know that in Africa continent, food is something which is very important to each and every family. Africa continent, with the countries which are found inside Africa, they are not like some of the European countries where you'll find them throwing food on the junk bush because they believe that this food had expired, or because this food had seated inside the shop for so long without having a buyer, so they decide to go and throw away all this food. No.
Truckload after truckload of once edible food is dumped around the world every day. At this waste plant in the south of England alone, 1,000 tonnes arrive every week.
So we take in food waste from all sorts of places, but hotels, restaurants, shops, schools, offices, from their kitchens, prep areas, and also some retail waste as well.
It's estimated a third of the food produced globally is never eaten. In Europe, 88 million tonnes of food is wasted every year. That's equal to 173 kilograms per person.
Instead, in Africa, just because there's not enough food, people go to bed with hunger each and every day. So in order for you to have a bread on your table, of course, you'll have to work so hard so that you can have something that you can give to your family. And this is a daily basic things that people of Kenya usually survive on. Whether it is petrol, whether it is oil, this is where people of Kenya usually survive in. But President of Republic of Kenya, President William Ruto, when he decided to come with this idea of increasing taxes on these items, of course, according to them as politicians, though they came up with this idea to make people of Kenya understand that, you know, they need to be taking these taxes money because it will help them to do 1, 2, 3 things, since he had his project of bringing up a free education, which is still up to come. Until now, we're still waiting to see what will happen. But as he decided to take or to pass this law in the parliament, they did not consider people of Kenya.
The people of Kenya have crossed the Rubicon. They have crossed the Red Sea. They are now on the shores of the River Jordan. They are entering Canaan. Nobody called these demonstrations. This kind of, what we are going through, there is no Kenyan who has ever gone through this kind of a day. We've never had the kind of multitudes that we've seen in the CBD and across the entire country marching. Even in the best of his political times, Raila Odinga never matched those numbers across the country as they are coming out. Even when people are fighting for 2A to be repealed, we didn't have those kind of numbers across the country. So I urge our people, don't think that things will never be the same again. It will never be. The conversation has changed. Power has shifted from the representatives back to the people. And up to this point, there is no face of what is going on. You cannot say, this is the leader, this is the person who called us out. But yet, people are coming out from their own corners to go to the streets. So, in my view, going forward, the state or those who are holding office must recognize that, hey, whatever we are dealing with, we underestimated it. This country needs a new beginning.
They did not have an idea what would be the reactions of the youth of Kenya. And that is how they went and rushed, because they think that increasing taxes on these items, it will be something that will help them to raise up the economy of Kenya. And they thought this was going to be more easy until when people, they had to come and stand and try to fight against this. But how did we get to this point? Because this bill, before the parliamentary had to vote for it, people of Kenya, they did refuse. The opposition political party over there, they did refuse about this bill to be even have a debate in the parliament. Again, as you know, African leaders, once you become a president, the most interesting part or interesting things for them that they usually need is to always have the majority in the parliament, because they know that with the majority that they'll be having in the parliament, it will allowing them to do things as their wishes. It will allowing them to change the constitutions even when that is supposed not to be changed. And that is how you see a lot of dictators in Africa. They kind of like behaving if like they are respecting their mandates, when we all know that they are dictators. So what they usually do is they will be in power once when their mandate is about to expire or to finish. They'll end up changing the constitution so that they'll still continue being in power forever. We saw that with some presidents such as Paul Kagame from Rwanda. We saw that with Yoweri Museveni from Uganda. We saw that with so many African leaders, including Idris Deby from Chad, who died recently. So you guys, you will see that this is how politicians or African leaders usually behave whenever they are getting this chance. So they usually fight a lot to have the parliament on their side, because they know with majority, the kind of majority they'll be having in the parliament, it will allow them to do things around as they pleases. So that was one thing that President William Ruto was more sure that him having this kind of majority in the parliament, it will help him to pass any kind of law, and he will just come and sign. Well, after this bill was passed in the parliament, people of Kenya, the youth of Kenya, they first start mobilizing people through social media. They start putting even more pressure on the government of President William Ruto and try to remind them that no, we don't need this kind of bill to be passed in the parliament, because their life is very expensive. The politicians over there in Kenya, they can come and say, for an example, no, we're doing this for your own good. We're doing this because we'll have to provide you with kind of employment. We're doing this because we want the social life to be more standards for everyone. That's what politicians will come and tell you. But when you look in the actions, when you look in the real reality, none of this will be taking place. So the youth of Kenya, they first start socializing and try to spread the news over social media, trying to motivate each and every Kenyan person to be aware of how this bill is going to affect their daily life. For an example, when we all know that affording a bread is not that easy for most of family out there. Now yet you have to sit and find out that no, they have increased the price of bread because the government want to take or collect more taxes from all this. So people, they have to assume their responsibility because they are what we call the sovereign of Kenya. And they start protesting. That is how we start seeing all these dramas. And mark my words, that when this all started, the government of Kenya, they did not take it that serious. They took everything more lightly because they knew very well that they are in control of the whole situations, because they did believe that they have the army. They will deploy militaries, police. They will deploy the law enforcement wherever these people will try to prostate.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. You must go. Ruto must go. Kwapa.
Forgetting that these people, they are the majority and they present a nation. This police and different law enforcement which was sent on the street, they end up committing serious crime by start attacking these people, by start shooting them even with the real bullet, which end up causing the number of deaths at 24 people who have lost their life. Again, in our previous video, I said to you, all this kind of crime will give it, the credit of all this, will give it to the President William Ruto, because he is the president. And it is under his own mandate that these innocent people, they have lost their life.
I was on the streets on Tuesday. There was no violence at all from the Gen Zs. There was no violence. It is the police actually who initiated violence. So there is nothing wrong with people of Kenya expressing, especially their displeasure with government. So why not allow peaceful demonstration? Because people are peaceful. I mean, and I was those young people, and they were saying, we are peaceful. They were even telling the police, we are peaceful. We are peaceful. Just allow us to.
They were chanting that.
They were chanting that. We are peaceful. We just want to walk. First of all, let them admit that, yes, the police killed innocent Kenyans, peaceful Kenyans. With that killing, then, let's see some heads rolling. Yeah? Can today IG Kome take responsibility for what happened? Or that commander, regional commander, can they take responsibility? Lives have been lost. We have dead bodies today as we speak. Somebody was responsible for that. And who is that person who was responsible for that? Especially because these young people are very peaceful. I mean, some of us here who are fathers of Gen Zs can confirm.
Yeah.
We were on the street.
We were right with them.
We were right with them. And they kept on chanting, we are peaceful. Okay. But it is the police. I even tried to go talk to some of the police officers myself. And I was tear gassed.
Their families, they remain, most of them, they left the children and the women. So therefore, it is the government of Kenya, under the leadership of President William Ruto, who will have to come and make sure that they pay all these families. They have to pay them damage for taking the life of their loved ones. So the government of William Ruto, they were so excited. They thought that no, they'll control everything. But the youth of Kenya, they just demonstrate that powerful message that African youth have been trying to pass to each and every African continent in order for them to stand. Because the people of Kenya have to understand that these bills, it represents our destiny. And it is about time we make sure that we stop this right now. If we don't do it, tomorrow we'll cry. and they put more pressure on the government of President William Ruto. They put more pressure. The more people they kill, the more people keep coming on the street. That is how you saw they went on and attacked the Kenya parliament. They burn it, they went inside, they collect everything. Well, after all, me myself, I'm not blaming them, because this parliament is for people of Kenya. We all know that parliament, it is a house of people, where people get to send their representative in different part of their countries to go and represent them over there. So if these are the same people who went and loot this parliament and burn it, of course, it is within their right, because maybe they have just realized that people whom we had sent to this parliament, they are not doing their job as they're supposed to be doing it. Therefore, we need to assume our responsibility to make sure that our destiny is more safe. So they did so. Personally, I don't blame them for that. Now, after they have done all these things, President William Ruto, he came up and announced this message.
Listening keenly to the people of Kenya, who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members that that becomes our collective position.
Saying that, no, I have heard people of Kenya, people have spoken, they have manifested their anger and their disfectations in all this, so therefore I'm going to withdraw it, this bill. I'm not going to sign it. Well, if you listen to his message very well, you will understand that the man is not even more sure. It's kind of like he's trying to calm down people of Kenya. It's kind of like trying to stop them from not protesting, so that he can go ahead and sign this bill. Here are the facts in order for you to understand why I'm saying this. In his message, you heard President William Ruto saying that, I thank all the parliament members who had voted for this bill to be passed. Again, this takes us to what I had said earlier on, that African leaders, once they are being in power, they make sure by all means to have the majority in the parliament. Even if their political party did not provide enough members who can be the majority in the parliament, they are willing to put billions and billions of money in order for them to buy some deputies from different political parties, so that they can end up having what we call majority in the parliament, because it is with that majority in the parliament that will allow them, or to make them be that powerful leader, whereby they will have to say something and the whole church will have to reply amen. So President William Ruto, him saying that, I thank all the parliamentary members who had voted for this bill to pass. Well, it is very simple. The message there is that, no guys, I know I have ordered you to vote for this bill to be passed, so that I will sign it. But now that people have raised up, they are protesting, and they seem to be more determined to continue protesting until things end up changing around for me. Well, I don't want to risk everything. I don't want to be removed in power by these people. So let me give them what can sanctify them. Let me try to give them something that they want to hear from me. And that is how he called for his whole cabinet. He set them down and he made that announcement. Well, that announcement actually even it even make things become even more worse. Do you know why? Because as we're talking right now, people of Kenya, they don't want to accept this announcement which came from President William Ruto, because they can tell already that his intentions is not for him to quit this the signing of this bill which was passed in the parliament, but his wishes is to calm down people of Kenya or people who are striking in Kenya.
As Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and a patriotic son of this country, I want to appeal to Generation Z to call off the protests for tomorrow, because their cry has been heard by the President. The President has accepted that there was an issue, there was a disconnect, and the President has done the right thing. And I think it's only fair that we call off the protest so that we don't have further loss of lives and destruction of property. It's an appeal that I've made as a father, as a parent, to our young children. We love you, we respect you. Please, I beseech you as your father, now that the President has given in and accepted to go with the wishes of the Kenyan people, please, my sons and daughters, I plead with you to save lives, to save bloodshed, to save loss of property and lives.
I don't think it's logical to march to State House. Do you know what marching to State House means? It means that Ruto ceases to be the President of the Republic and that we go Sri Lanka way. You remember what happened in Colombo, in State House in Colombo? And that simply is it. From where I sit as a minister, I'm interested in mediation, I'm interested in a conversation with accountability systems and instruments put in place that, from where I sit, excludes Parliament, because Parliament has been a sellout, complete sellout, that excludes people who have not given the President wise counsel, people who are around him who've not given him wise counsel. A neutral team that is representative, and as the Deputy President did say there, a carefully, well thought out team that represents the interests and the aspirations of the Gen Zs, and then we have a conversation. Then the President is held accountable so that we move on, we correct this. But then, secondly, what we are seeing is that the government is crumbling. You have a situation where a junior officer in the office of the Deputy President is speaking to his boss through the media. I advise my boss, I advise the President. President, do this. President, do this. It means they are technically not working together. That in itself is dangerous for this constitution. And from where I sit, these two are lawyers. I still feel that this idea in our constitution of an elected deputy president alongside the president seems not to be working. We've seen it with Deputy President William Ruto when he was deputizing Uhuru. We are seeing it with Rigathi now. I think, not hangovers at all, but the appointed deputy worked better for us because the temperatures are climbing. Imagine today if Rigathi came out and opposed the finance bill or jumped out and formed this party, and the country is going to collapse. So for me, I feel there are institutions that have failed us. We must get a neutral team and a neutral party. And as you are trying to hint on the church, the church is not fully compromised, as we say. There's a section of the church that have been compromised in dealing with the president. There are credible persons who still are available from within the religious space, both the church and our Muslim brothers and other faiths, who can join on that table and have a very honest conversation that we may save this country. We don't want more bloodshed. And I want to plead with the Gen Z, please don't march to State House. We have had, and I've been involved, you know, I've been on the front line. Let us not endanger more lives. If we are to demonstrate, even today, let's do it peaceful in non-protected areas so that we don't shed more blood.
So Trevor, one of the things that for me concerns me listening to Deputy President, first of all, Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya talks about peaceably, demonstrating peaceably. I was on the streets on Tuesday. There was no violence at all from the Gen Zs. When I listened to Deputy President Gachagua, I read a threat. Why will he be insinuating that we do not want to lose more lives? Why? Is it because they do not understand the Constitution of Kenya, Article 37, that says that Kenyans can actually demonstrate peaceably, and therefore the police should actually give protection to that peaceful demonstration? Why is he insinuating on loss of lives? Because these people have said, and that's their chant, we are peaceful, you know. So I don't really buy into what Gachagua is saying. Eventually, we have indicated, because the president has caved in and admitted that this law is very bad.
Yeah.
After all, but it's not even written by, it was not even legislated by our own legislators. These are globalists, imperialists, telling us how to run our country. And I think one of the things that really President William Ruto needs now to take into consideration is actually being seen as a puppet of the Western world.
Okay.
That's a conversation happening out there, you know. So whether he likes it or not, you know, he's seen as a puppet. He's kissing too. I mean,
excuse your French. Now let's read. Still, Anifa says, please do not march to State House. Please stay safe and do not go to State House. That is not like Parliament. Please do not go there. Okay, we'll talk about that shortly. So still another tweet from her. Shanky here says, do not occupy State House, comrades. It's a protected area. Yesterday, they killed so many Gen Zs who occupied State House, Nakuru. Okay. That's not verified. Those are statements coming from online. Kimuzi says, occupying State House is tantamount to treason, though. We still push tomorrow, which is today. If genuinely you have feelings na hasira, you shall realize kutakuwa na bloodshed and you shall achieve nothing. Don't breach the walls, but let's move forward. Kuna many government offices to start with, okay? See what else you're saying here. Thirsty Kipsoed says, so watu waende ama wasiende, be clear. It's not about watu waende ama wasiende, it's about being logical. I'm one learned individual. So there's Gen Z speaking to themselves about the protests that are meant to happen today. Don't go to State House, my dear comrades. That area is a no-go zone. It is written and no one will take responsibility but the Constitution. I am as angry as you. Okay?
The second step should be, the moment that you killed more than 20 young people that have been killed, and all of them have died in the hands of police guns. Not even a single person has been killed by a civilian. All the deaths are from gunshots from the police. We've killed them. They are now emboldened. They're even telling you we're coming to State House. They're not coming to State House just because they want to invade. No. You've actually shown them that you don't represent them. Until their first statement, you call them criminals. Yesterday they became brothers and sisters.
Actually,
how do they believe
actually terrorists. They call them
terrorists. So now, this is the point that I'm making. Unfortunately for the church, Ekuru, those of us in political leadership, we've not fully appreciated what is taking place in this country. When I say the people are claiming their voice, and they're doing it peaceably, you are not seeing a Kenyan divided along tribal lines, class lines. No. I've been on those streets. Kenyans of all tribes are there, all ages, and all social class.
Okay.
They are not coming out and saying we are because we believe in this one political case. The only thing those people believe in is a Kenya of dignity, a Kenya that let it now make sense to all of us.
Yeah.
And if we don't listen to them, and I'm sorry to say this, I can even stand up here and tell people, please don't go to State House. They will not listen to me. I'm not their leader. There's nobody who is anybody's leader in what we are going through. What we should be urging is our security officers, when our people come into contact with you, do not kill our people.
Absolutely.
Because William Ruto being president, Rigathi Gachagua being deputy president, even Willis Otieno being deputy president in designate, is not more important than the people of Kenya who are dying out there.
Okay.
Like, you cannot say that...
Deputy president in the making.
In the making, yes. You cannot say that because Willis Otieno must be the next deputy president, I'm going to kill people. No. So also, for Rigathi Gachagua, for William Ruto, we cannot say that if you go to State House, we are going to kill you. What I'm saying is this.
Nobody's threatening.
No, what I'm saying, they've said they'll be lots of lies.
Yeah.
We've all established. No, we've all established
but they said
that the deaths that have happened, we've established. All the deaths so far are caused by policemen or men in uniform. That's where the deaths are coming from. So we can progress to say that the expected death that the Kenya Kwanza seems to know about, or they're talking about, will only come from where it has come from before, from the men in uniform. So what the conversation today should be this. Whenever our people congregate, and I'm telling you, these people don't have a leader. Please, our men in uniform, don't kill our people.
Trevor,
let me just finish it.
I'll come to you, Reverend.
Don't kill our people.
Okay.
It is not worth even a single life to be lost for William Ruto to become president or for Gachagua to become. Why can't even, if the people are saying they are going to occupy State House, if it's a question of Ruto's safety, they can evacuate him to another location. There are so many State Houses.
No, after all, he doesn't live in Kenya.
He doesn't even live in, yeah. So, people going to State House, they can allow them to walk in, let them have tea, let them meet their State House. Is their State House?
Yeah.
Then they will leave. If there be any damage, that's just furniture. That is just
Trevor, I have a rhetorical question.
People, you're not allowing me to finish. What I'm simply saying is, if the demonstration is going to take place in State House and the people are the ones going to do it, let them do it. You can subsequently, once they retreat back home, you can go and take control. But what I am saying, whichever place the people have appeared to demonstrate, don't kill our people.
Okay.
So these people, they decided then to start calling for President William Ruto to step down. You heard me correct. This reminds me of what I had told you before, that President William Ruto, if he was clever enough, he would have understand that certain things that he should be considering them as a taboo debates or questions or something that's supposed to be done in his parliament, or especially under his leadership. Because if you have to look on how he was contested by other candidates who participate in these Kenyan presidential elections, whereby their IEC over there proclaiming or announcing President William Ruto as the winner. On the other side, we saw opposition political parties coming also saying that no, he's not the one who won. Already, before he's sworn in, there were some political parties who were busy protesting in the streets, saying that no, it's not legit. Now, with all this being said, or with all these things took place, I think someone like him should have understand that is there just because people of Kenya, they did not want to have any trouble. Is there just because people of Kenya did not want to see many people dying in the street? Now that you have been in power, why can't you just focus on some matters which are more important and do something better that each and every citizen of Kenya, they can be able to applaud for you? Unfortunately, he failed to do so. And that is how things end up turning sour for him, because these same prostaters, they have changed now their strategies. They are no longer calling for the President William Ruto to withdraw this bill which was passed in the parliament, or to not sign this bill, but they are now calling for him to resign. In one of the clips which I played for you in the previous video, you heard people of Kenya calling for William Ruto's name to resign or to leave the office. How far are they willing to go? Because according to President William Ruto, after saying that he's not going to sign this bill, he then called for a dialogue, saying that he's going to organize a dialogue so that they can find out a way out. Again, this dialogue, it is another sign which showing that the men actually have not accepted to not sign for this bill. He just suspend everything for now. It's just a matter of time. He's gonna come back again and try to sign this bill. That is even the reason why he's calling for dialogue, because I don't see the reason why they'll have to go in dialogue over something like that. Now that people of Kenya, they have taken their destiny into their hands, and they want to make sure that they do everything according to the way they wishes. Well, we shall wait and see for how long President William Ruto will be able to resist against these people, if he's already start bowing down to their pressure from this protest that they were busy taking place in the couple of days. We shall wait and see, and we'll be back here with more analysis for you. Thank you guys for taking your time to watch this video. We really do appreciate your presence in this channel. We really do appreciate your presence in this platform, because it is a platform which we create for all Pan-Africans around the world who want to know about what is happening in Africa continent, because over here we talk about matters that make sense, we talk about matters that will help Africa to develop and become a powerful continent out there in the world. So therefore, we are inviting you, before you leave, make sure that you like this video in your numbers, give us your thumbs. We will really do appreciate that. It is a way of helping us to join or meet more people out there, so that they can be able to know what we are talking about here. So with that being said, if you find something very interesting in this video and you would like to catch us in our next video, well, feel free to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, so that you can join this big family of Cool Buzz TV, and you'll be able to also contribute through the comment sections, as we are always looking forward to see your comment coming through. Well, that is all for today. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.
Africa, Africa, Africa,
Yeah, check